Before the nine realms existed, even before time had formed, there was only Ginnungagap, the primordial void. On one side, the icy and misty realm of Niflheim with its freezing mists and poisonous rivers. On the other, the realm of fire and scorching heat of Muspelheim, guarded by the fire giant Surtur. Between these two extremes, Ginnungagap remained a silent, lifeless abyss. It was from the meeting of these opposites that life began to emerge. The heat of Muspelheim began to melt the ice of Niflheim, and from the primordial waters and the icy mist arose the first creature, the primordial giant Ymir. From Ymir in turn were born the first frost giants, the Jotnar, who populated the void. As Ymir slept, the sweat from his armpits and legs gave rise to more giants, and from his feet a six-headed monster. But Ymir was not alone. From the melted ice drops also emerged the cosmic cow Audimbla, who fed on Niflheim's salty ice. As she licked the ice, Audimbla revealed an imprisoned being, the first of the gods. Had a son Boar who married Bestla, a giantess, and together they gave birth to three sons. Odin, Vili, and Viela were the first gods of the Aesir tribe, and they were different from the giants. They possessed an intelligence and a desire for order that contrasted with the primordial chaos of the Jotnar, dissatisfied with the disorder of Ginnungagap and the growing threat of the giants. The three brothers made an audacious and brutal decision. They united to confront Ymir himself, the primordial giant from whom everything had arisen. The battle was cataclysmic. The three brothers fought with all their might against the ice colossus. In the end, they prevailed. Ymir was slain, and his gigantic body became the raw material for the creation of the world. From Ymir's blood, the brothers created the oceans and lakes. From his flesh, the land. From his bones, the mountains. And from his teeth, the rocks and stones. From his skull, they formed the sky, supported by four dwarves at each corner. And from his brain, the clouds. The maggots crawling in Ymir's body became the dwarves, and sparks from Muspelheim were used to create the stars, the sun, and the moon, which were placed in the sky to illuminate the world. Thus, from the primordial giant's body, Odin and his brothers created Midgard, the realm of men, and established order in the universe. They also created the first human beings, Ask and Embla, from two tree trunks, granting them life, mind, and emotion. This act of creation not only established the supremacy of the Aesir over the giants, but also marked the beginning of a new era, where order and structure began to take shape from the primordial chaos. Odin, the wisest and most ambitious of the brothers, emerged as the natural leader, the Allfather, destined to shape the fate of the realms and to seek knowledge that transcended the newly created universe. Odin, Vili, and Viao had created the world from Ymir's body, establishing order and giving rise to the nine realms. But, even as co-creators, Odin felt he needed more. His ambition was not just for power, but for something deeper and more elusive: knowledge. He yearned to comprehend the universe in its totality, the past, the present, and most importantly, the future. This relentless pursuit of wisdom would lead him to unimaginable sacrifices. Odin's first great trial in his quest for knowledge led him to Mimir's well, a sacred fount of wisdom located at the roots of Yggdrasil. The world tree Mimir, a primordial being, guardian of the well, possessed incomparable wisdom, for he drank daily from its waters. Odin, in his thirst for knowledge, traveled there and asked to drink from the well. Mimir, however, imposed a terrible price, one of his eyes. Without hesitation, Odin plucked out his own eye and offered it to Mimir as payment. With one eye less, but with knowledge that extended throughout the cosmos, Odin drank from the well's waters. This sacrifice not only granted him immense wisdom, but also made him the one-eyed god, a symbol of his devotion to knowledge and the pain he was willing to endure for it. Odin's eye, which Mimir kept guarded in the well, became a constant reminder of wisdom's price. But Odin's quest didn't stop there. He wanted to unlock the secrets of the runes, the magical symbols that contain the deepest knowledge of the universe, from creation to Ragnarok. To acquire this knowledge, Odin undertook another terrible and solitary sacrifice. He hung himself on Yggdrasil, the world tree, the very backbone of existence, for 9 days and 9 nights, wounded by his own spear Gungnir, without food or drink. During this self-imposed torment, he delved into the depths of suffering and meditation. On the 9th day, when he was on the brink of death, the runes revealed themselves to him. He understood them and grasped them, descending from the tree transformed. This ordeal granted him mastery over runic magic, the ability to read and cast powerful spells, and knowledge of the universe's most hidden mysteries. This sacrifice intrinsically linked him to Yggdrasil and the 9 realms. Odin, now known as the Allfather, for being the creator of men and the protector of the gods, possessed striking characteristics that reflected his pursuit of wisdom and his role as leader. He often wandered the 9 realms disguised as a wanderer, with a broad-brimmed hat to hide his lost eye, seeking knowledge and observing the world. His faithful companion Sleipnir, an 8-legged horse, was the fastest mount, capable of traveling between worlds. His 2 ravens, Hugin Thought and Munin, Memory, flew around the world, bringing him news and information from all corners. His 2 wolves, Jerry and Freki, were his loyal companions. Despite his newly acquired wisdom and power, the universe was still a place of disputes and disorder. The Aesir, Odin's tribe, were a growing force, but they weren't the only gods. The pursuit of knowledge and the will to establish a more just cosmic order prepared him for the next great challenge, the need to unify or subdue other divine forces and organize the realms he and his brothers had created. The era of great conflicts was about to begin, shaped by the sacrifices Odin had made. With the wisdom of the runes and the sacrifice of his eye, Odin had established himself as the undisputed leader of the Aesir, the tribe of gods representing order, war, and royalty. They inhabited Asgard, the highest of the realms, a place of glory and power. Built after the creation of the world from Ymir's body, however, the cosmos was not populated solely by the Aesir. There was another divine tribe, the Vanir. The Vanir were gods associated with fertility, wisdom, prosperity, the sea, and magic, inhabiting the realm of Vanaheim. Different in their natures and priorities, the two divine tribes, Aesir and Vanir, maintained a tense coexistence. This tension culminated in the first and greatest war among the Norse gods, a conflict that would shake the very pillars of creation. The war between Aesir and Vanir. The exact cause of the war is debated in Norse sagas, but the most accepted narrative associates it with the figure of Gullveig. She was a mysterious sorceress, supposedly one of the Vanir, who visited Asgard. Her obsession with gold and her powerful magic attracted attention, but also the distrust of the Aesir. The Aesir, fearing her corrupting influence and unknown magic, tried to kill her 3 times, burning her on a pyre and impaling her with spears. But she was reborn each time stronger. This act of violence against one of the Vanir was seen as a grave insult, a breach of peace, and precipitated the war. The war was long and devastating. Both sides were powerful and possessed unique abilities. The Aesir, led by Odin, were masters of battle tactics, while the Vanir, with their magic and knowledge of natural forces, were formidable in sorcery and more subtle strategies. The gods hurled themselves against each other, destroying walls, disfiguring landscapes, and causing immense suffering in all realms. Odin, in his war fury, even threw his spear Gungnir over the hosts of the Vanir, a symbolic act that formally began the conflict. Both sides suffered terrible losses, and the war seemed endless. Battles were fought in different realms, and neither side could achieve a decisive victory. The gods realized that the conflict was exhausting the universe, and that continued warfare would lead to the ruin of all. It was then that Odin, with his wisdom, and the other gods sought peace, to seal the peace agreement and ensure future harmony. The Aesir and Vanir exchanged hostages, the most honored from each tribe, to live among the other clan. The Vanir sent the gods of fertility and the sea, Engered, the god of winds and the sea, and his children Freya, god of fertility and prosperity, and Freya, goddess of love, beauty, fertility and magic. These gods would become central figures in Asgard and Norse mythology, enriching the pantheon with their different spheres of influence. In return, the Aesir sent Hoenir and Mimir. This exchange of hostages and the eventual merging of the two divine tribes not only ended the war but were also fundamental for the organization of the 9 realms. The war and the subsequent peace forced the gods to define and delimit their spheres of influence, creating a clearer cosmic structure. Asgard, the realm of the Aesir, home of Odin and the warrior gods. Vanaheim, the realm of the Vanir associated with nature and fertility. Midgard, the realm of humans, created from Ymir's body. Jotunheim, the realm of giants, enemies of the gods. Muspelheim, the realm of fire, home of Surtur. Niflheim, the realm of mist and ice, home of the dragon Nidhogg. Svartalfheim, the realm of the dwarves and dark elves, great artisans. Alfheim, the realm of the light elves, beings of great beauty. Helheim or Hell, the realm of the unworthy dead, ruled by the goddess Hel. The war between Aesir and Vanir, and the consequent peace, was not just a military event. It was an act of creation and cosmic organization. It defined the relationships between the different races and realms, established the balance of power between the tribes of gods, and solidified the dominion of the Aesir with Odin as their supreme sovereign. The wisdom obtained by Odin through sacrifices would now be applied in the governance of a structured universe, although the memory of the war and the imminent threat of chaos, in the form of Ragnarok, loomed as a shadow over the new order. With the war between Aesir and Vanir finally over, and peace sealed by the exchange of hostages and the merging of the two divine tribes, Odin emerged as the Allfather, the undisputed sovereign of Asgard and the supreme ruler of the 9 realms. The wisdom acquired through the sacrifice of his eye at Mimir's well and the understanding of the runes, obtained by hanging himself on Yggdrasil, were not just for knowledge, but for governance. Asgard, with its grand halls and its famous gateway, the Bifrost, which linked the realms, became the center of cosmic power. Odin's reign was multifaceted. He was the god of wisdom, constantly seeking more knowledge, sending his ravens Hugin and Munin to gather information from all corners of the universe. He was also the god of war, the supreme strategist who presided over battles, blessed warriors, and received the valiant dead in Valhalla, his glorious hall in Asgard. But beyond war, Odin was the god of poetry, magic cider, and kingship, establishing laws and maintaining order in the 9 realms. He was the protector of Asgard, of Midgard, and the guardian of order against the forces of chaos represented by the giants. Under Odin's leadership, Asgard prospered. The Aesir and Vanir gods, now united, governed their respective domains. Thor, his son, with his hammer Mjolnir, protected Asgard and Midgard from the giants. Frigga, his wife, wove the threads of destiny. Heimdall guarded the Bifrost Bridge, warning of any danger. The 9 realms, Asgard, Vanaheim, Alfheim, Svartalfheim, Midgard, Jotunheim, Niflheim, Muspelheim, and Helheim, functioned as a complex cosmic ecosystem, interconnected by Yggdrasil's roots and branches. Odin was the architect and guardian of this balance. However, the vastness of Odin's wisdom brought with it a curse, the knowledge of Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods, the final battle that would lead to the destruction of the cosmos and the death of most gods, including Odin himself. This grim prophecy loomed as a shadow over his reign. Despite his efforts to postpone the inevitable, gathering the bravest warriors in Valhalla, and seeking more knowledge to understand and perhaps alter fate, Odin knew he could not escape his own death in Ragnarok. This awareness of the impending end added a layer of melancholy and urgency to his pursuit of wisdom and his leadership. Odin's legacy is vast and deeply rooted in Norse culture and, by extension, in Western culture. He is the archetype of the supreme god, the wise but also complex and flawed ruler. His quest for knowledge, his willingness for personal sacrifice, and his concern for destiny are themes that resonate through time. Odin has influenced literature, art, and music, from medieval Icelandic sagas to Wagner's operas and modern fantasy works. He is the representation of the struggle between order and chaos, of wisdom gained through pain, and of the acceptance of fate, even when it is grim. The figure of Odin, the Allfather with his single eye, his ravens and wolves, and his spear Gungnir remains one of the most powerful and enigmatic symbols in mythology. He is not just a god, he is the embodiment of humanity's own search for meaning and power in a vast and uncertain universe, awaiting the day when cosmic destiny will manifest in its ultimate and glorious battle. The saga of Odin, the Allfather, is an epic journey of sacrifice, wisdom, and the struggle to maintain order in a vast universe. Which aspect of Odin's leadership or his quest for knowledge fascinated you most? If you lived in Asgard, which of the 9 realms would you choose to explore first, and why? Share your opinion in the comments. Your curiosity is our guide to unraveling the great stories of the world, and the next adventure begins with you.